Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, December 22nd. Thank you so much for joining in to our weekly PPACA webinars. It is the last one before actually the beginning of 2017, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we do have some information to share before this holiday, and I know it's not pleasant talking about health insurance before this wonderful holiday, but unfortunately that's our job, right? So I wanted to at least get you some information. Auto enrollment and billing. This is the bane of all of our existence. You know, it's just going to be a nightmare. We've been receiving information from you, our agent partners, about some of the issues with the auto enrollment, which they're calling a passive enrollment. Versus an active enrollment where you as the agent or the client would go in to the individual portal and update their application for 2017 and make a selection. The passive renewal, their definition is those cases that the CMS auto map to a different plan. Those are called passive renewals. So one of my agent partners had some experiences with actively enrolling their clients for 2017 and then Capital sending out billing that on people that already made an election, sending out billing for the passive enrollment. So I did contact Jody at Capital, and she said that they received an initial mapped file on November 26th and a smaller file on 12/16. She says that both of the files had already removed anyone or supposed to remove anyone that made an active plan selection. Issuers, meaning the carriers, will continue to receive CMS passive cancel incremental pre-audit files. How about that for a file name? This week for any consumer that actively elects a plan. Issues are to use that file to terminate the passive enrollment policies in their systems. In other words, they're trying to, these files that they're getting, they're supposed to be removing the active, or from the passive file, the people that have already actively re-enrolled, but that doesn't seem to happen. And then when they get this new file, they're supposed to, again, make sure that the active policy is active and the passive enrollment is not. But she did say, make sure your clients pay the correct bill, easy to say. And if they continue to get billing, I suggest that they call in and cancel that policy, the one that they don't want, if they can recognize the difference. And to you, I just say prepare for problems. This is just going to be a nightmare because it already is. There's also an additional problem, and this just came to light this morning from one of my agent partners' experiences last night, and this one's going to just make you sick to your stomach. For those of you that are using the carrier portals to enroll on the FFM and then redirect back to the carrier site to make the plan selection, it appears that on the site, the carrier site, specifically Capital and Highmark, that the enrollment took place and has been completed. However, if they log into healthcare.gov, it's not completed. So it looks like that redirect link, even though the carrier portal says enrolled, is broken. So they're trying to get an idea of how long this has been going on, you know, who it affects. I can tell you again, it's just a nightmare, and I'm not sure how to resolve it other than to just keep documentation of what you did, you know, on the website. And if there's an issue, we're just going to have to take them one by one and get the carriers to honor those enrollments. You know, again, once I have more information, I'm happy to share that. It's just that I don't have any information at this point. Yeah, so let's just move on. Highmark short-term medical. I talked to you yesterday or last week about the address correction and the process for returned apps. the new Highmark short-term app is on our website. What Highmark is saying, and this information will be in my newsletter, but what they're saying is to ensure that all short-term blue applications have been processed, please review any applications mailed from November 1st through December 9th. If any discrepancies have occurred, you are to follow these guidelines. You're to mail a copy of the original application with a new check or money order to the new return address. Please note, if the original check is received by Highmark and a stop payment was not placed, the check will be cashed and any overpayment will be refunded. Effective dates on the original application will be honored. They also say to submit a list with the consumer's name, address, and social security number via secure email at produm@highmark.com. And again, that's in my newsletter, but it's P as in Paul, R-O-D as in dog, E-M as in Mary, at highmark.com. Produm@highmark.com. Agents who do not have access to secure email may call the producer hotline. So if you've had any short terms with Highmark that were mailed from November 1st to December 9th, you're going to want to pay special attention to those and just verify that they are active and the checks have been received and cashed. Moving on. CMS, a new rule for 2018 regarding agent commissions. This is also in my newsletter. There was a missile that was sent from CMS on December 16th that basically said if commissions are filed with rates, that they will not allow the insurance carriers to drop agent commission if those rates, if the commissions are filed with the rates. And there's a few other things that are of importance, but that's the main one. So that's going to start again in 2018. It's not going to help for any sales that are going on now, obviously, but when they file their rates in April, May of 17, if those rates have commissions, then 2018, they're not going to be able to mess around with those commissions like they have the last couple of years. Special enrollment period monitoring. After June of 17, 50% of all of the SEPs are going to be monitored and audited and request proof of the SEP. There's a stat that basically says that everyone seems to agree that special enrollment periods are necessary, obviously, to accommodate those people that have the life changes at a qualifying event. But a study was commissioned by America's Health Insurance Plans, AHIP, and the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, and they found that the monthly health insurance claims of individuals who enrolled in coverage under a special enrollment period in 2015 were 41% higher during the first 3 months of coverage than the claims of people who enrolled during regular open enrollment. So this is what the carriers and all the stats have been really showing, is that these SEP enrollments usually come in, get a procedure or treatment, and then terminate coverage. So that's kind of supporting what they've been saying all along. National General. I want to show you this because I keep telling you this is on our site, but I'm telling you right now it is absolutely on our site. So if you go to our website under Departments, Health Plan Options, Quoting Tools, I've added the National General Short-Term Medical Quoting Portal and the Short-Term versus Major Medical Tax Penalty Estimator. This estimates the difference of cost between short-term limited medical coverage versus a qualified major medical plan, and calculates whether it's more advantageous to take the short-term medical and pay the tax penalty, or to just go with the major medical coverage. So that is now on our site. And let's see here. Just a reminder, January 10th, we are having our Self-Funding 101 webinar. I did tell you it was 2 o'clock. It is at 10 a.m. on the 10th. So hopefully you can join in, and if you're not familiar with self-funding group health plans, certainly something that would be beneficial to join in. We are going to open it up for questions, and just, again, a reminder, next webinar is Thursday, January 5th. I have a meeting that was scheduled on Thursday the 29th, so I'm unable to run the webinar. If you have any questions that come up before the 5th of January or issues, please just reach out to me. I'll be here. I just am not going to be able to run the webinar. And let's see here. See what questions we have. We have no questions. Isn't that interesting? Okay, well, that's a good thing. I just wanted to, before the end of the year, thank you all for joining in to our weekly webinars. Thank you so much for the business and your partnership. I can tell you that last week we had a record week. For those of you that do submit your group health with us, we had submitted more groups and more lives last week alone than we did in November. So for those of you that contributed to that, thank you so much for the business. Keep watching and tuning in to our webinars. There's going to be a lot of changes in 2017 under the new administration, and I'm going to try to stay abreast of those changes for you and keep you informed. And to you, I say keep involved and stay informed yourself. It's certainly a benefit to your customers, both on the group side and the individual, and also the Medicare side, and certainly something that's beneficial to you as well. So I'll end it there and wish you all happy holidays, and to those of you that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And I'll talk to you next year. Thank you again. Bye-bye.